Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video we're going to be taking a look basically at the, well, to cut a long story short, movie bosses challenge for the last stage of the original movie Red Zone, the movie boss rush. And yeah, honestly, very interesting. I want to say, I think for me, when you look at these types of challenges, in terms of team building and everything, I think there's a lot of ways, that you can kind of be really left isolated. Like, especially for movie bosses right now, I think we're still missing a couple pieces. We have like one or two really strong units, and then we have a lot of like not too strong units, if that makes sense. So we really have to kind of like, assess and take a step back, I think, and like look at how to build a team that can deal with getting to the final stage against Broly, because we'll talk about like how the event progresses, but also like actually get through Broly. Now, first things first, all things considered, I think for me, looking at like the functionality of the team, looking at what needs to be done, there are a couple points where you need to consider what you're doing with the team. So the first like 4 phases are not too bad. I think Turles, Lord Slug, Cooler, and Android 13 are very capable to be handled by a lot of movie bosses teams. I think when it gets to Bojack is where things are really going to I want to say, go in the wrong direction. So with Bojack, what tends to happen is you tend to get locked or sealed, and it's the wrong guy, and he just explodes. Not really the best situation to be in. Now for me, looking at how to build a team and how to get through this, I found that ultimately for me, what really worked the best was to take the team and start peaking it at this point. So for example, like transforming Broly. So transforming Broly, making sure that Broly, was like operating at his highest level, having him start to do his big peak of damage here. Because I didn't want to use items until like the last turn-ish of Janemba, and then pushing all the way in to like obviously the Broly section itself. In terms of like Broly, that's probably the most important thing. I think you need to transform the Brolys early, and ideally transform the weaker Broly first, so that you can kind of proc off, and then transform the stronger Broly as you enter into the Broly portion. This will then kind of let your Broly, or the stronger Broly, carry the workload quite a bit. And I think that's very important when you look at everything overall. On top of that, of course, we have some really good other units. So, for example, we have Int Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta. He does a lot of really good things for us. Big damage, super important, but also the revive. So the revive is huge, the damage is good, very big unit for us. The physical, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken and Evolved Vegeta, also very good, very important as well. Super big damage, really strong unit, again, in general. So we've got these 2 units. We're going to pair them up in separate rotations with the Brolys. Then we have floating. We have super bosses Frieza. You need to be very considerate of how many orbs you get with him. You got to make sure you activate his full damage reduction, otherwise he's not going to be having a good time. And then you also have Broly Chi-Lai Lemo, also very strong unit. Really good, honestly, nowadays. And what really makes them super solid for me is their orb changing. So you need to be considered with them as well, how many orbs you get. Remember, 7 orbs guarantees them evasion, which really sets them up super nicely against, Broly, because for me they are really, really, really good and really, really, really solid. So yeah, I think beyond that, the rest of the team is more floating. So you have your 2 set rotations, and then you're floating everyone else, and then a lot of it comes down to, I don't want to say the luck, but a lot of it comes down to the pure production of your Broly LRs. So if your Broly units can really check out damage, then I think you'll be okay. You will end up getting the victory. If you get unlucky, you don't get the kind of crits that you need and things like that, then I think you'll struggle. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. If you don't have Broly, then I think making the team right now isn't impossible. I just think it is a little bit hard. I think it is a little bit of a struggle, just because of the fact that without Broly, you can't really incorporate the Vegeta and the Kaioken boys, who I personally find are really, really, really good. So for me personally, I find them to be really strong additions to the team, because remember, you only have to use 4 movie bosses characters. So for me, having 2 units like this, just to help with damage, just to help with functionality, revive, orb changing, etc., I think is really, really solid. And then obviously we look at Broly G Dilemma. You can see me double checking which support I want from them. I went with the defense, largely just to try to provide a better foundation, just a stronger defensive performance for these guys, and just to make things way better. I think for me, it's definitely a really good team build. I think everything runs through probably just about as good as I'd want it to. But I think for me, everything came together well enough here. A lot of it is just reliance on Broly to really pop off, and everyone else to kind of do their thing around him. And then you just end up with a really, really, how can I say, it gives you a really good foundation, and then everyone else just kind of does their natural thing, really. But that's honestly, that's really about it. I don't think for me there's too much else really to mention. The team comes together nicely, you get the victory, and like I said, depending on Broly, will depend on how you can get through it. Honestly, outside of the time limit, I say time limit, but outside of the items that are active, you are obviously a bit vulnerable. So that's where you're going to have to have real consideration for what you are doing with the unit. Are we going to make it through? Basically, you may end up failing simply because you don't get lucky enough with crits and positioning of the characters. But I think you'll get there, if you know what I mean. So I think that's really it for me. Not too much else more that I would say is necessary here. I think if you are looking for substitutions, I think it is a bit difficult right now for replacing some of these guys. I think some are replaceable. I think you could in theory replace the Frieza, of course. I think you could in theory replace the maybe Broly G Dilemma. But I think in general, you probably find a lot of these units aren't really super interchangeable, at least if you're going with a specific team build. But that's basically gonna be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like as always. And yeah, that's going to be it from me. So I will see you guys in the next one. And until then, take care, stay safe. And as always, thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.